Welcome back, guys. Baby Got Stacks.
And we got quite a good book coming your way.
We do. We have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the second book that I've read from her. I don't know if you've read.
I haven't read anything else yet.
I think I have almost all of her books except one or two.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I first read Evelyn Hugo.
Same.
Book.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
Yeah.
So I was real excited for this.
Mm-hmm.
It was written completely different than I anticipated.
I had known ahead of time that it was written interview style, but I thought it'd be more question and answer rather than just
Just
back to back. Yeah. But yeah, this is a very popular book nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a new cover based on the show on Prime. It's a Prime show. Do you just want to go ahead and read the back?
Yeah, I can go ahead and read the back. Daisy is a girl coming of age in LA in the late 60s, sneaking into clubs on the Sunset Strip, sleeping with rock stars, and dreaming of singing at the Whiskey A Go-Go. Her voice is getting noticed, and she has the kind of heedless beauty that makes people do crazy things. Also getting noticed is the Six, a band led by Billy Dunn. On the eve of their first tour, his girlfriend Camila finds out she's pregnant, and with the pressure of impending fatherhood and fame, Billy goes a little wild on the road. Daisy and Billy cross paths when a producer realizes that the key to supercharged success is to put the two together. What happens next will leave the stuff or become the stuff of legend. The making of that legend is chronicled in this riveting novel written as if it were the oral history of one of the biggest bands of the 70s.
I gave it a 5.
I gave it a 5.
I really, really liked this.
I
book.
lost sleep because of this book. I had to finish it, and the ending was a great twist, kind of. I don't want to call it twist, but it kind of revealed of who was giving the interview, and I was not prepared.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't even think about who was conducting the interview.
Me neither.
Really enjoyed it.
That's great.
So this book is kind of broken up into many eras, I guess, like before when Daisy's up and coming, and then when the Six is up and coming, then when they do their first duet, and then
them together
writing their album, then their tour again. I don't know if we really want to go into in depth of what happens per se, because that's kind of a lot.
Yeah, there's just too many details. So this book starts in 1965 basically with Daisy, and then it ends, let me go and find it. It ends in the present, which would be
I think it said 2013 or
2012,
something.
2013.
Yeah. Even though this was released in 2019. Okay. But it is loosely based off of Fleetwood Mac. And their drama. I love Fleetwood Mac, so I already knew the history of it prior to reading this.
Yeah, I was stupid and I went on YouTube Music because I knew that they had like an album out.
For the show, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in my head, I saw the album and I was like, oh, it's a real band. Not thinking, no, this is for
the show. And
also, so in the very back of the book, they have the Aurora's album and
the
all
lyrics.
The lyrics. So then I listened to the songs from the album, and they're completely different.
They're not, they did not take her lyrics.
How upsetting that was to
I
me?
know, because some of the lyrics are mentioned in the book when they're writing it, and there were some really good lines. Like, I really like In Regret Me.
Yeah, so let me tell you, if you are expecting the songs to be the same as the book, no. And
like that line in Regret Me when Daisy wrote, and baby, when you think of me, I hope it ruins rock and roll. I wanted to hear that in the song because I was like, yes.
That was it. That's what I was searching for.
Not at all in the song that they released for the show.
I was upset.
Yeah, but I do appreciate how they really made it seem like an actual band. Like, she was pulling other cultural references from it, and, like, who else was up and coming, and what else was going on. You probably wouldn't even... I mean, if you didn't say that this was a book, you would have thought, like, it was just, like, a biography.
Like I said, I thought they were
real.
real.
It was a real band.
Yeah, so, I guess there's obviously Daisy, and then in the 6 there's Karen, Billy, Warren, Eddie,
Graham,
and Pete.
Did you say Graham?
No.
Billy and Graham are brothers.
Yes.
And then Eddie and Pete.
Yes.
Are brothers.
Because they did have someone else, but he went off to the war.
Yeah, just kind of like any other band. Like, you start off small gigs, and then you have people coming and going and joining and then leaving, and then they finally settled on the actual band members on the album that made them big.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because then no one wants to leave a successful band.
Yeah, exactly.
Should I go into the history of Fleetwood Mac now or later?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay.
You can do it now.
So.
I'll learn with you guys.
Okay.
Story time.
So, Fleetwood Mac, just like the 6, had people coming and going until they got successful. And they were based out of the UK. Late 60s, early 70s is kind of when they got their start. So at first it was Bob Heston, Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, and his wife Catherine McVie. So I'll just go by their first names because there's not.
Yeah.
But Fleetwood Mac is from Mick's last name Fleetwood, and then Mac was short for McVie. Okay. Fun fact there. Mick was the drummer. Mick was married to Jenny. I don't know what she did. She was just his wife.
Okay.
Bob ended up having an affair with Jenny, and so Mick and Jenny got a divorce, and they fired Bob.
Makes
Bob
sense.
in an interview later was quoted to say, like, that affair cost me my career. It was like the most expensive affair, because he could have been in fucking Fleetwood Mac.
Makes sense.
Anyways, so Mick was the drummer, Catherine's the keyboardist, John is bass.
Okay.
Since they fired Bob, they were
no-go.
looking for a guitarist and a singer. I don't know how they knew of Lindsey Buckingham, who was in America, but they knew of him, and they asked him to join as guitarist and lead vocals. Now, Lindsey made a deal where it's like, I'll only join if you let my girlfriend Stevie Nicks join too. They agreed, and then they all relocated to California. So now it's Mick, Catherine, and John, couple, and then Lindsey and Stevie, couple.
Okay.
Now, their first album is called Fleetwood Mac. This is technically their second album named Fleetwood Mac, but this one's the white cover, and there's like the one with Bob.
Yeah, we don't like Bob.
No one likes Bob.
Okay.
So they write the Fleetwood Mac white album that has Landslide and Rhiannon on it.
Okay.
Big hit. So they party hard as bands at this time do.
Would. Yes, with all the drugs.
A lot of drugs.
Yes.
And so they tour, they go home, and they're set to meet up again to record their next album, which ends up being Rumors.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you've heard me talk about Rumors, but just like John Mulaney says, it's an album written by cheaters for cheaters. During the recording time of this, John and Catherine get a divorce, and Lindsey and Stevie break up.
Okay. Stevie
and Lindsey's breakup, nasty. So bad. So I had so
it's getting juicy, guys.
Go Your Own Way.
Yes.
Was a song written by Lindsey to Stevie.
Okay.
Stevie wrote the song Dreams about Lindsey.
Yes.
Catherine wrote the song You Make Loving Fun about the man she was having an affair with.
As one would.
And so they're all singing songs they know is about themselves from their ex.
Okay.
And they record it, and it takes a long time to record because no one really likes each other. They go on tour. Mick, the drummer, ends up having an affair with Stevie. But at this time, Mick, during the recording, had remarried Jenny.
Oh,
and then Mick goes to have an affair with Stevie. And Catherine started having an affair with, like, their lighting director or something. And they're all on tour together with their ex.
That sounds horrible.
And during this time, they were partying extra hard.
Yeah.
Like, every night, Stevie did so much cocaine that she actually did burn a hole through her nose. I guess it's like a coin-sized hole in her nostril from how much coke they did. And she said that they were spending so much money on cocaine that it would have been like someone's like mortgage for the year.
Oh my god.
That's how much.
Well, and there's a lot of emphasis on Daisy with her pills in this book.
Yeah.
Which would be a reference to that.
And so, I mean, Rumors, huge.
Yeah.
And they actually did continue being that same band for about a decade longer. But each time, the writing process just got longer and longer to the point where they literally could not be in the same room together. They refused to be in the same room together.
Wow.
And they continued writing songs about each other and then singing it on tour. And, like, at one show, Lindsay, like, they would, like, sing their song and then stare directly at the person it was to. So, like, if you see recordings, you will see them turn to the other person, like, sing it at them.
I would love to just go to a concert, just, you know, during that time, just to see the animosity. Like,
and Lindsay especially was, like, sometimes he'd, like, mock Stevie's dance moves and, like just make fun of, like, try to make fun of her. And the one time Catherine got so mad at him, she started throwing shit at him off of the stage. It was wild. Eventually, Lindsay was the first one to leave.
Okay.
And then they kind of had people coming and going, and then they did a reunion in the 90s. There was a song Stevie wrote specifically about Lindsay that got cut off Rumors, I think.
Okay.
And they, during the reunion, it was recorded. It's like on YouTube, you can look it up. I forget what show it is, but the song's called Silver Springs, and you can just see her turn and stare down Lindsay, and Lindsay turns. Because it's a duet, they all sing on it, and they just see, like, it's intense.
Oh god.
Yeah, to this day there's animosity, and Catherine died, I think, a couple years ago. But yeah, I think they all hate each other still, and they refuse to ever do a reunion again.
That is insane.
Isn't it wild?
I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's today's lesson. I love Fleetwood Mac.
Yes, she really does, and I'm surprised I didn't know that stuff.
It's a lot
sooner, but
and so Stevie sings the songs she wrote for Fleetwood Mac, like, on her own concert. She tours on her own now.
That makes sense.
I think she's on tour with Billy Joel currently. I think.
Wow. Okay.
I've actually seen Stevie Nicks live with my mom. Really good. She's fantastic.
Sure,
I love her.
I'm sure she's fantastic.
But yeah, I think, what was it? I think she said that she had been in love with Lindsay all the way up until he had his first kid, because he did eventually marry. And he had that first kid like a year after that reunion. So, like, even when she's, like, singing at him, pissed off, I guess she was still in love with him.
Interesting.
Yeah, wild times.
So do you think that this book portrayed really well in telling their
what
story?
I like is you can see, like, the parallels. You can see where the inspiration came in, but Taylor Jenkins Reid changed it enough to make it, like, her own. Like, it wasn't exactly mimicking what happened with Fleetwood Mac. This is a very realistic, they could have been their own band and had their own drama, as I'm sure a lot of those rock bands did. With drugs and partying and so much cheating and affairs, and I really liked it.
So it got to the point where so Billy and Camila obviously are married, and Daisy starts really falling in love with Billy and gets really pissed off that he doesn't want to do anything with her, and he realizes that he's in love with her but can't have her because he loves Camila as well.
He never explicitly says he fell for Daisy, which I have a question later about that.
And at the end you realize that Billy and Camila's daughter is the one that's conducting the interview on everyone
after Camila has passed.
Correct. And
is the finished product.
Then at one point, Eddie is just mad at everyone.
Eddie is just pissed off that they're all focused on Billy and everyone else.
Graham is with Jenny, or is that Pete? I think that's Pete.
Pete ends up with a girl named Jenny.
Who is with Karen?
Karen never ends up marrying or anything.
No, I know, but who is she sleeping with?
Oh, Graham.
I thought it was Warren.
No, Graham.
Oh, okay.
Karen was in love with Karen.
And knocks her up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then she has an abortion, and that really does a number on him.
Yeah, because he wants a wife and a family to eventually settle down, but she wants to focus on her band. And I really liked Karen's talk with Graham when she tells him she's having a baby, because he's like, oh, okay, then we can, you know, you can get off the road, have the baby, we can have a family. And she's like, so what? You can go on the road and I just lose my career? And he's just silent.
Yeah.
And it's like that's it. She just doesn't want a kid because it's already hard enough for her. She's like, if she's gonna go like do an audition for a band, she has to dress a certain way so they don't see a woman, they see a keyboardist.
This book talks about big topics, but not in a way that's like, whoa, this is like too much.
Yeah, it's not in a, okay, we're taking this on. It just mentions it as it comes up in their lives.
Yeah.
And I really like this book.
I really liked it. I can bring it up on Goodreads. Yeah, I'm sure it has a fantastic...
I also want to mention the interview style, so that you can get both sides of an event. But, like, that moment where Daisy leans in to try to kiss Billy when they're writing. And Daisy says, like, one of us needed to leave, so I just got up and drove away. But Billy, when he's talking about it, says, one of us needed to leave, so I was the first one to go. But so, like, you know, one of them's lying. Yeah. And so it's like, I wonder if they did kiss, or, like, what actually happened, because you can, like, you know.
Oh, I love it.
So it still makes you wonder.
So this has a 4.24 stars on Goodreads. It was Goodreads' Choice 2019 winner. It has over 1 million ratings.
Yeah. I wish I saw what the ratings were before the show came out and see how many people it got to read the book. Yeah. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, someone said 1 star predictable. I'm like,
What? How?
Someone rated it 1 star predictably boring and flat.
I mean, if you're not interested in reading about the music industry or the 70s era, probably not gonna be for you, because obviously it's heavily set in that era. So, I mean, I think just from the premise you can tell if you're gonna like it or not, and if you don't think you'll like it, probably just skip it. Yeah. But I did want to mention, because Taylor Jenkins Reid is on a fucking roll right now.
Truly is.
So that Amazon Prime show, Daisy Jones and the Six, 10 episodes, came out with its own album. I did watch the trailer for that, and obviously the songs were changed. It doesn't follow the lyrics she wrote. Me. I know, they were so good.
She literally put them in the book.
She literally wrote them out. Yeah. And they also changed Camilla, because Camilla in the book is so self-confident and has so much faith in Billy, but from the little snippets of her in the trailer, you can tell she's like doubting him, mad that he's unfaithful, like really insecure. So that was, I'm sure it's for the drama of it all. I'm sure, yeah. But I was so impressed with Camila in the book, because I could never.
No.
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 No. One True Loves is another book of hers. That was a movie that was released this April in select theaters. I think it's also maybe on Apple TV. But yeah, that was released this year. That book came out in 2016. Malibu Rising is set to be a Hulu TV show that got picked up by Hulu. That book came out 2021. And Netflix picked up Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo to be a movie. Yeah. And that book came out in 2017.
She's killing it.
So she's got 4 books already going off. Reese Witherspoon was like the executive producer. She's involved in the Daisy Jones and the Six show.
She did a blurb.
Oh yeah, her blurb is on the front cover, and it's Reese's book club. I have that little. Oh, I hate that that's on there. Yeah. I prefer yours. But it's crazy, and she has so many books, and there's kind of a turning point. I think Daisy Jones and the Six was her turning point, where beforehand it was definitely more romance novels. Yes. And now from Daisy Jones and the Six forward, it's kind of historical fiction, celebrity fiction, which I think is interesting. I wonder what made her do the switch. I really like... I haven't read one of her romance books yet, but it's a lot of people prefer pre-Daisy Jones and the Six
Yeah, I was trying to find... Oh, okay. So, one of the reader's guide in the back, they asked, is there anything you can tell us about your next book? Is it connected to Daisy Jones in any way? It says, yes, since The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was mainly set in Hollywood in the 50s and 60s, and the Daisy Jones in the Six is in the 70s, the new book, which would be Malibu Rising, is set in the 1980s. And the main character, Nina, is related to a character who appears in both The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and in this book. And I don't know who she's related to in this book.
Oh.
So the main character I knew was related to someone in Evelyn Hugo, which is
Mick,
the Evelyn's first husband.
Yeah.
But I don't know who she's related to in this.
Interesting. Yeah, there's kind of a whole, like, Taylor Jenkins Reid universe map out that you can connect the characters to each other in all these books. Just Daisy Jones and the Six on, nothing from her romance book that I think people have noticed yet, at least.
Now I want to figure out who is Nina related to. And
well, you might spoil Malibu Rising for yourself.
That's
Don't
true.
do it.
Okay,
Don't do it.
Okay. Okay, I put it down.
But I think Harry Soto is back as based, I think, in, like, now. Like, present-ish. I mean, 2010s.
Maybe.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
Maybe
I know
90s,
that one's about the
I don't
tennis
know.
player. That's what I would think if Malibu Rising was.
It's 80, yeah.
But let's get to my questions.
Okay.
So at the end of the book, Camila ends up helping Daisy after Daisy realizes she's in love with Billy and tells her she should go, but that she has faith and that she can recover and whatnot. Why do you think Camila helps Daisy?
I mean, maybe so that Daisy doesn't
I was going to
sleep
say,
with
do
Billy.
you think it's a selfish reason, or do you think she actually cares?
I think it's for a selfish reason. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. How do you feel about the storytelling style, this interview back and forth?
I liked it. It's different than any book that I've ever read.
It did take a little bit to get used to it.
Yes.
Because sometimes I had to refer back. Because when they first mention somebody, it'll say, like, executive producer, blah, blah, blah. And so sometimes
I really liked it.
I thought it was really cool.
It's an interesting concept to write like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It made it easier on my brain, I guess, to comprehend things. Because they broke it down, obviously, by, like, paragraphs.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Exactly who was talking.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. All right. Were you surprised Camila stayed with Billy?
110%. I thought that I was going to flip a page and it was going to say
divorce.
Yes! I thought for sure that there was going to be a time where it's just like, and then we got divorced.
Yeah.
And there wasn't.
It never was. Why do you think she stayed with him?
I mean, they had a history.
I guess.
She was there when they were young. They had kids together.
Do you think she was just comfortable in the relationship and didn't want to start over?
I really do. She seemed like the type of person that wouldn't, like, she
stuck with her decision.
She would just put a blind eye and just hope for the best.
I wonder if it was also kind of like, not pettiness, but like a thing to her parents who, like, oh, you're marrying a musician.
Yes.
It kind of like a see?
Yeah, because I feel like if she were to divorce him, her parents would be like, I told you so,
and she'd have to move back and then be a single mom. I guess she was in too deep.
She was in way too deep, yeah.
Could you do that?
No. No. I am the complete opposite of her. I would have
just thrown up her white flag and be like, I'm moving in, folks. Here we are.
Exactly. I just don't understand how she could have done it. I really don't.
Yeah.
All the drugs, all the no. I don't
all the
I know. I don't understand it.
I mean, he did stay clean.
He did. There was a time where he took a swig of tequila.
Right, but that nice man at the bar.
I know, and then he asked if he had kids. Oh, let me look at them. And then, like,
showed him
put
down the glass.
I loved it.
And then he was just like,
Kudos to
makes you want to keep going or work hard for them, right? And he's like, yeah, no, you're right. That sweet old man.
Yeah.
Why do you think Billy was so against Daisy joining the band? Like attraction, or like the fact that she was bringing drugs in, or was he actually selfish and wanted the spotlight?
I think he could see her as a threat.
Yeah.
Because she brought in a lot of people already. Mm-hmm. And I think he saw her as a threat, that if they were to not do well together and, like, break up the band, right. I think he would be concerned that she would take everyone with her.
Or, like, he was used to running everything, and he was the one who wrote the songs, and then like wrote the instrumental part, and
he needed control, and I feel like she brought in the sense of I can't control her.
Yeah.
And that made him panic.
There was a quote that I think it was him that said, like, she just, like, unsettled me.
Yeah.
And so I think
he needed control, especially with the band. Like,
yeah.
he would control everyone's parts.
Do you think it had anything to do with, like, attraction? Because I think when he first met her, he mentioned...
I think a slight, but I don't think that was, like,
at
the entire... Point. Yeah.
Mm.
I think there's more to it than just attraction. I think that played a factor, but I don't think that was the whole thing.
So by the end, Daisy says, like, I fell in love with Billy, but he never says how far his feelings went.
I could have swore he did.
He didn't.
Okay.
So why do you think...
This was 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Guys, I was already tired, but I wanted to finish.
So why do you think Billy just can't admit how he felt and maybe still feels? After the fact.
Honestly, I feel like it has to do with his daughter's the one that's interviewing him.
That's true. But even in the moment, he never, like, told Daisy... Well, I guess we don't know, because he never said it.
I feel like there's some things he probably wasn't going to say to his daughter just to keep, like, him and his wife... I mean, obviously he told her that he cheated on her.
Right.
Like, in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was maybe something that Camila already knew, and so he felt like he wasn't hiding anything, but...
Maybe just to keep his daughter's vision of them.
Exactly.
Why do you think Camila tells Billy to call Daisy after she dies?
I think she knew deep down that he loved Daisy all along.
Do you think it's kind of one of those, okay, now that I'm gone, you can move on, go call Daisy?
Yeah, it's kind of like there's a Nicholas Sparks book. Is it?
It's the one we read, Safe Haven.
Yes.
How the wife had left letters.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's kind of like that.
Like a blessing.
Like she didn't,
gave her blessing.
She didn't want Billy to be alone. She knew that Daisy, they had the history.
Maybe at least, like, because they never talked to each other again either.
No, they didn't.
So at least, like, rebuild that friendship.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Yeah.
Do you think he actually does?
Probably not.
I don't think he would.
I don't think he would either.
I think he'd be too big of an ego to be the one to do it.
There's no way Billy would do it unless someone else, like his daughter or something, said something. Yeah. I don't think he'd do it on his own. Mm-mm.
That's all I got, folks.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. If you like music or Fleetwood Mac, you know.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
To, like, learn the drama and her partying and her drug problem. She marries a prince.
Yeah, Taylor Jenkins Reid does a fantastic job portraying the 70s. And it really puts you into that mindset. And I
listened to a lot of Fleetwood Mac this week.
Oh, I didn't listen to any. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would recommend it. Highly recommend it.
I'm very excited to watch the show.
Yes.
We will probably watch it. Maybe we'll mention how we feel about it and our opinions, unless you want like a full bonus episode of us going through the episodes. But there's 10 episodes, mini series.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I don't think they're gonna try to build on this or anything.
Probably not.
I hope not, at least, because then they have to go off their own.
Yeah, and I don't know how I'd feel about that.
And I don't trust it. But
yeah.
what I haven't seen When True Loves. I know what that's about.
I know what it's about, but I haven't seen it either.
I think I'm most excited to see Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
I love that book.
They were going to make it a mini-series, which I think would have been smarter, but they changed it to a movie. Because Evelyn Hugo, the book, is broken up by husband. And they had set episodes. Yeah, that just within the book. They could have done that.
They could have done that. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I'm not going to knock it down.
That one's the Netflix one. I think I have more faith in Hulu with Malibu Rising than I do Netflix.
We'll see what happens. I kind of know what Malibu Rising's about.
Yeah,
I haven't read that one either, so I'll be intrigued to see what that's about.
We'll have to read that one soon too.
Yeah.
There's no set date on any of the other ones though.
No, there's not.
We just know they're picked up.
Yeah.
I think they were toying with kind of releasing or leaking what the cast for Seven Husbands is, and I think one of the names throw out for Evelyn Hugo was Camila Cabello, that I know you hate.
I hate that.
So
girl. Also, yeah, no, her.
no.
What was she in? Was it Cinderella? There was.
That weird Cinderella remake thing.
She was. Was it her that was in it?
Yeah,
she was the worst.
It was her. Yeah, it was
where
really
she was
bad.
Yeah, if she's in that, she's gonna ruin that entire movie.
Have you seen that TikTok of her when she was singing a Christmas song, and so everyone started making fun of how she said Christmas or something like that?
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't like her. That's what, like. Don't get me on a tangent.
Two of her songs. She'll get spicy.
I'm gonna get real spicy. But yes, highly recommend. Fantastic read. Next week we are reading.
We're back on our thriller shit.
Yeah.
All the Dangerous Things.
Thank you. I'm reading it and I couldn't even remember it.
I couldn't tell you the author's name. Do I have a Flicker in the Dark in here? I don't. It must be a Book of the Month book for me too. But it's the same author as Flicker in the Dark, which I've heard great things about, and I've heard really good things about. I already forgot the book name. All the Dangerous Things. There it is. I immediately forgot even though I just said it. Willingham?
Yes.
Wow. I got that right.
Yes, Stacey Willingham.
I'm very impressed with myself. But yes, we're back to a thriller. It'll be the last book of April. I think there were 5 books in April. A long month.
Yeah, it has really good ratings.
Very excited.
It's really good. It's about Isabel Drake. Her son Mason gets taken out of his crib in the middle of the night while her and her husband are asleep. And the book goes from then to like her childhood.
Oh.
She has some like sleep. So the book's, I mean, you'll get into it, but there's like some sleeping weirdness with her.
Love it.
Since her son disappears, she has not slept in a year.
Oh, fuck.
Like she'll sleep like for a couple of hours here and there.
Right, but not actual full night.
Yeah. And when she was younger, she would sleepwalk, and so there's some sleeping patterns that are happening. So she goes and talks to like True Crime Con. She goes to like these places to keep Mason
the story
alive.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden, she gets interviewed by a true crime podcaster, but his interest in her past makes her really nervous. And so she starts, like, with his questions that he asks, it starts to make her doubt her recollection of the night of her son's disappearance and second guess who she can trust, including herself.
I do like an unreliable main character.
Yeah, so it actually says it in the back of the book she cannot rest until Mason is returned to her, literally, except for the occasional catnap or small blackout where she loses track of time. She has not slept in a year.
Keep me on my toes.
So far it's really good. I'm like page like 40 something, and I've really enjoyed it. It seems slow paced, which I like.
I like a slow build at the beginning, because then when it hits, it hits.
And so far, it's very good at like giving you details of like what's happening around you, scenery.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
atmospheric.
There's a dog.
Oh, God bless.
So yeah,
I am ready for a thriller. I liked reading the dark romance to this historical fiction. It's time for some spooky shit.
We've really gone different avenues this month.
We really have. We really spread it around. I'll be posting May's schedule this week probably on our Instagram at Baby Got Stacks Podcast. We got a link in our bio there to our link tree. You can see what else we're up to on our Goodreads.
Yes.
I still do manage to read a book or two outside of the schedule.
I do not. I don't. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I only read the books that we do for the podcast because that's all I
We're busy bitches.
Yeah. But you can see the books that I have in my collection, and if there is a book that you see on one of our collections and want us to do an episode on, just let us know.
Let us know.
So, yeah.
Follow us wherever you're listening to this podcast. And we'll see you next week.
Yes, we will. Bye, guys.
Bye.